One of the rarer and more curious pieces of APBA history is undoubtedly the book 40 Years of APBA by Robert Schmeirer. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I believe he passed a few years ago. Love to see that football logo right at the top and in the center. Baseball, basketball, golf, and saddle racing. No bowling there, interestingly. It's probably because the game hadn't been out yet, because this book is copyright 1972. He acknowledges founder J. Richard Seitz and some newspaper articles there. We'll get to the bibliography a bit here. Published in Glenside, Pennsylvania. Now, you'll see this book on occasion on its own in a collection of memorabilia. You might find it tucked away in a game box every once in a while. And this is about 20 or more years before Scott Lahotsky created the documentary of Dice and Men, which you can view at the Zach Baseball book online. We'll send you put the link in the bio here. You can watch that documentary. But Robert took the lead on APBA history, telling the company's story from the beginning through the development, the fans, and the future. It's a nice little book if you find it. He quotes some of the APBA advertising. Its origin goes back to 1932, and the game was in its formative stages. Of course, Clifford Van Beek. Now known, of course, simply as APBA. Incidentally, it is pronounced APBA, not APBA. Okay, and there's your... APBA was an unusual baseball league from the start. 17-year-old J. Richard Seitz had worked out the rudiments of a dice-activated game using individual player cards that relied on complex play charts to translate the dice roll into action. There you go. 100,000 APBA fans, he cites here. Quite interesting. Seitz, of course, was in the Army. We go into Mr. Seitz's history there. Again, quoting from APBA Game Company advertising, we're always trying to iron out any bugs we may find as a result of continual experimentation. That's right. So, constant improvement. Let's see. Moving forward here, there are, I think, a few. Yeah, there are a few. There's the man himself, APBA founder J. Richard Seitz. Great image of the company there. I mean, it's about as utilitarian as it gets. It reminds me of a great old newsroom, kind of the scene in All the President's Men, the newsroom scenes. Many places to store copious amounts of paper, reams and reams of paper tucked away. Of course, a couple of the premier games there. And continuing... So I don't know, I don't know if even Scott Lahotsky's documentary talks about Robert's book here, but now talking about APBA fans, again from the advertising, APBA's fans are legion. They are also devoted, and we are both proud and grateful for this. Although if you go a little forward here, I thought it was kind of interesting about the future. The tone changes noticeably. To wit, we do not disclose our plans regarding any kind of forthcoming new merchandise whatsoever. So, we love you, but don't bug us, kid, kind of a thing. It's part of the charm, the mystique, that. Let's see. APBA fans have turned out to be even more devoted and rabid in their enthusiasm than Seitz ever dreamed possible. Fan acceptance has far outdistanced Seitz's original estimates, exceeding the dreams of high school, Army, and early business days. APBA fans have earned Seitz a good living, as well as offering him a large measure of pride, etc. The APBA World Series baseball games is indicative of the fact that Seitz intends to pursue the wholesale and retail markets within the very near future. 72 is a pivotal year, of course, because that's when, that's one of the major revisions for the football game. You also had the World Champion football set covering the 53, 59, 60, 63, and 65 NFL title game. So, but, until Howard Alscott came along in the 80s, took over the APBA Journal and really put APBA football on the map, baseball was really getting all the attention here. So, here's the great teams of the past series, which Richard mentions here. And then you go to the bibliography. There's a couple interesting articles to note. And they use the term parlor game. Thank you. I always use it, and I wonder, is that really true? But yeah, it's a parlor family kind of game in a sense. Looking down here, you've got some headlines from Wall Street Journal in August 69. With a game board, you too can whip the New York Jets. Ouch. Geez, it just won the Super Bowl, guys. Let's see, the Philly Inquirer, the Inky. Breaks decided by computerized game. That's January 1970. Really cool. That's about the time they did the Marciano Ali computer simulation, I believe. Somewhere in the 70s. Baltimore Sun, November 69. Headline, for $13, you're Don Shula. Wow, that's anticipating the Dolphin dynasty. And then from Sports Illustrated, November 69, Dice Ball keeps the mind fit. It's not just fun, it's healthy. Robert has a couple of appendices here. He shows you the APBA baseball sample cards that went out from the 51 in 1982. Some pretty serious folks there, of course. And he shows you some of the location of the 12 to indicate that's the original. That's the first set, 1951. And floating around out there now are reprints of the 51 set, which the company reprinted from an original 1951 set with the green backs. They did this for the 70th anniversary of the company last year's convention. So those are, I think they sold out, as well they should. Anyway, it's a cool little book. Check this out and then go view, if you find this, but then go check out Dice and Men by Scott Lahotsky. It's a really cool documentary of the game company. Link below. Happy collecting.